Wall Street rattled by fears that China has caught up.
Shed some light on the theory that this is some kind of psychological operation.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to continue on with part 2 of this deep dive into DeepSeek version number 3. I've noticed over the past few days that DeepSeek has been all over the news and it is dominating the press when it comes to the markets. And let's clarify some small details that people may be missing. It took $6 million to train the DeepSeek AI assistant, version 1, 2, and 3. Now, the R1 is a completely separate model and it has completely different functions. And we'll look at that later on in a different series. But right now for this series, we are solely focusing on the DeepSeek version number 3. So we've already gone over the origins of the DeepSeek AI assistant. And today I really want to dive into the DeepThink R1 feature. There are 3 ideas here. One is DeepSeek version 1, 2, and 3. The other is a DeepSeek R1 model, which is primarily focusing on reasoning. But what we're actually dealing with here is DeepSeek version 3 with the DeepThink R1 feature. 3 ideas are making it quite confusing on the internet. This video is going to put you on the right track to end that confusion. Let's get practical. Here's how DeepSeek V3 is being used right now. For content creators, DeepSeek does script writing. It analyzes trending keywords to suggest viral video topics. It does search engine optimization. It generates metadata that could potentially rank #1 on Google and YouTube. It can handle lesson planning. It can create STEM activities tailored to specific grade levels. It can break down calculus or chemistry concepts step by step. Functions for developers consist of code generation. It does its own bug fixing. It can explain errors in plain English. It can write clean Python, JavaScript, or SQL in seconds. It is the 3rd major iteration of DeepSeek's AI model. Each version represents significant upgrades in capability, such as improved natural language understanding, which leads to a better grasp of context and norms. Enhanced accuracy. It has fewer errors or hallucinations. It has broader versatility. Its handling of code and creative writing is more effective. For example, V1 focused on basic conversational skills. V2 added support for technical tasks like coding and math. V3 expanded into deeper reasoning, multilingual fluency, and content retention of up to 16,000 tokens. Think of it like the smartphone OS updates. Each version refines performance and adds features. Future versions V4 and V5 could bring even wilder upgrades like real-time video analysis or seamless integration with AR and VR. How does it think? You will see the DeepThink R1 tag during your chat with DeepSeek. So let's break down what this actually means. What it stands for is Reasoning Phase 1. This is a structured process that DeepSeek V3 uses to analyze your questions and craft responses. And here's how it works in practice. When you ask a question, the AI first dissects your words into tokens. These are small chunks of meaning. It identifies keywords, context, and even your tone. For example, if you say, "Hello, R1," it checks if R1 refers to a prior topic or a misunderstanding of its name. Step 1, it has input analysis. Step 2, it has context retrieval. Next, it scans its training data and your conversation history if it's enabled to stay on track. In my case, it remembered I'd previously clarified that it is DeepSeek V3, not R1, so it gently corrected me without sounding robotic. Step 3, it has ethical and safety checks. Before responding, the AI runs a safety filter to avoid harmful content. If you ask about politics or sensitive topics, it balances honesty with caution, prioritizing its ethical guidelines. Step 4, a response generation. Now, it generates possible answers, ranks them by accuracy and relevance, and picks the best fit. For creative tasks like scripting this video, it leaned into storytelling. For technical questions, it focuses on precision. Finally, it tailors the response. If you're a creator, it adds tips about YouTube search engine optimization. If you're a coder, it'll suggest debugging tools. This adaptability is why it feels like chatting with a human collaborator. So why does this matter? The R1 process isn't just about speed, it's about transparency. By showing its thinking, DeepSeek V3 builds trust. You're not getting a black box answer. You're seeing how AI can reason, self-correct, and evolve. To be honest, it's pretty cool and quite magic. It took years of research in machine learning ethics and design. And honestly, I think this is only just beginning. That concludes part 2 of our deep dive into DeepSeek version 3. In the next episode, we will be looking at the ethics and limitations of the DeepSeek V3. We're going to look at their transparency and take a look at their privacy policy. And finally, we're going to look at what's in store for the future. What are the big plans for this AI assistant? So if you want to stay up to date with the series, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can join us in the next episode. What I've also discovered is that when they designed this, they also used some of the biggest AI today in open source software. They piggybacked on that and created this new AI assistant. Well, it's quite debatable as to whether or not that it had any major effect on the cost. Well, of course, it would have because they have piggybacked on some of the biggest technology. However, they're able to streamline the cost of training the actual program itself, which is a big deal, and it is open source. There are some data privacy issues in play here, and we'll talk about that in the next episode as well. So the big question on everybody's mind is how much of this is actually proprietary software built off other companies? Well, the reality is they use all open source software. It goes with the environment, doesn't it? If it's open source, that means anybody can use it, and therefore it's going to happen this way. And they've also made their own AI assistant open source software as well. So it's a kind of irrelevant argument, to be honest. So far in my experience, I have found it to be a bit more precise than GPT, and I've been using GPT for quite a long time now. And I'm finding that GPT is a bit more bland and not as dynamic, and isn't as deep diving and intuitive as DeepSeek version 3. So hopefully OpenAI will rectify this and make it a bit more creative. See you in the next episode.